Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, September 11th, 2020. Not too many significant impacts are expected for the next couple of days as the high pressure builds into the Great Basin. We're really just looking for some gusty winds this afternoon over the Snake River Plain and then over portions of northeast Utah. No significant impacts for Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll begin to see some breezy winds start to move into far western Nevada that will continue to spread over further east through the Great Basin for the beginning of next week. The smoke for this morning, here we're looking at the near surface, and we've got some smoke moving through central Idaho and down into far northeast Nevada. That's this morning, and then this afternoon it fills in just a little bit more. And then, of course, smoke beginning to filter back into far western Nevada from California. Same story for the upper air. The smoke looks like it worsens just a little bit by this afternoon over western Nevada and also into Idaho and northern Utah for this afternoon. Past 24 hours weather is shown here. Basically no precipitation other than just a little bit of lingering, very light precipitation at a few locations over far eastern Utah, and no lightning activity. New initial attack was pretty light over the last day, with just a few fires down across the southern tier of the Great Basin. And many of the large fires continue to exhibit lower fire activity. 7-day precipitation totals are shown here with the observed amounts on the left and percent of average on the right. Really just looking at the precipitation from the storm that came in on Monday and Tuesday. But western Idaho and much of Nevada, all of Nevada, is still very dry, and dry pockets in western and southern Utah as well. ERCs have come down in those areas where we've seen the precipitation over eastern Utah, but still very high over central Idaho and over much of Nevada. So over the mountains of central Idaho, we have seen a rapid increase over the past 10 days or so, and those values are getting really close to the historical maximums for the time of year. Further south over far western Nevada, the values are on the upward swing as well, above normal for the time of year, but still not quite up to the historical maximums. This morning's satellite imagery shows that low still spinning over the Rocky Mountain region, but calm, sunny skies expected over the Great Basin for the next couple of days as the high pressure continues to build in as that low moves off to the east. The next system we'll be looking at is this low pressure system off in the Pacific, and as it moves closer inland, we'll see the winds pick up beginning Sunday and really into Monday and Tuesday ahead of that next trough. So for today, generally dry across the basin. Still some lingering effects from the precipitation over the eastern Great Basin, but fairly dry, available for fire growth over much of the west and central portions of the region. So for winds this afternoon, we do see a little bit of some breezy conditions over central Idaho or southern Idaho, and then also northern and northeast Utah. Minimum relative humidities are quite low in Nevada for going into the middle of September, single digits down to 5%, very dry. More of the same is expected on Saturday. The high pressure ridge really builds into the Great Basin as that trough moves off to the north and east. Still continue to see potential for new large fires with our dryness levels here. Winds lighten up a bit on Saturday as the ridge moves overhead, and still a very dry air mass and becoming drier even over Idaho, Wyoming, and into central and eastern Utah. On Sunday, that trough that's been over the Pacific starts to move closer inland, and we'll begin to feel some of its effects with an increase in wind speeds, primarily over far western Nevada. Don't have any high risk on Sunday just yet, as the strongest winds will be a little bit off to the west. So looking at the winds on Sunday, stronger over Oregon and northern California, but beginning to increase slightly over far western Nevada. Still very dry region-wide. No precipitation expected in the next 3 days. On Monday, the trough, or that low, kind of gets swept up into a trough, pulled up into a little bit further north. So we'll see winds increase out ahead of that trough. So we do have high risk in place for far western Nevada. Finally, looking to see some precipitation moving into the Pacific Northwest. May see a little bit in far northern Idaho by Monday, but still dry for the most part of the Great Basin by Monday. And on Tuesday, that low still hanging off the coast, bringing some precipitation pretty much up and around the Great Basin as the high pressure ridge still kind of stays in place over Utah. Dryness levels bumping up over the eastern portions of the area with the warm and dry air continuing. On Wednesday, still looking to see dry conditions, stronger southwest flow as that low thinks about moving inland. And on Thursday, it's still the same. We're still in that dry southwest flow out ahead of that low until we can really get that low to move in over the Great Basin. We won't really see much in the way of moderating conditions, but at least some reliefs coming to the Pacific Northwest and possibly Northern California as well. 7-day precip totals shown here, showing some pretty good amounts along the Washington and Oregon coasts and even portions of Northern California. But for the Great Basin, not too much, maybe over the central Idaho mountains and far northeast Nevada. We'll see just a little bit. But this system is developing, and we do expect to see a little bit of a change between now and next Friday. Extended forecast moving into September 18th through the 24th, calling for above normal temperatures, but not as hot as we've seen in some of the recent forecasts, and below normal chances for precipitation returning once again to the Pacific Northwest, but still generally dry here as well. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.